Guys, how are you doing? It's your girl Owamie, and welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time joining me, you're most definitely welcome. Please do make sure that you subscribe and obviously hit the bell so that you do not miss any episodes or any uploads. Thank you guys so much for 35,000 subscribers. This I do not take lightly. I really honestly am grateful. I know this channel is not as active, and that is because I am currently, guys, in my studio, Upandi Studios, and we are currently in the process of actually building backgrounds. So I'm building backgrounds so that we'll have different backgrounds for different shows. And besides, I do intend or plan on actually having the studio obviously rented out to the public. So I'm still very much busy with that. There's no production that is actually happening right now of any show. To Helen Beck season 2 is gonna be coming soon, but we have not started. As I said, we're still busy. Things are definitely coming together a bit slower than I would like, but very soon you guys will be getting so many different shows, and I'm super excited for everything that is still going to come. However, today I decided that I'm gonna actually share with you guys this story that literally traumatized me, and I have not spoken about it, and this has happened over 2 years ago, to be exact, on the 24th of February 2022. The reason why I had not shared this story time or this story, I think it was because I really honestly had to get into a position of acceptance, and also just to forgive myself, because I felt for a while I kind of blamed myself. But I'm just like, you know what, this is information that can really save someone out there. And I just feel like, listen, okay, this story time, let me go ahead and share with you guys. Obviously, being a public figure is not as easy, because things can easily get taken out of context. And first of all, I want to say I'm not playing victim. I don't want anybody or someone saying whatever. I just want you guys to be careful and know that there's a trick that they're using, because first of all, I've never heard someone talk about this, and I've also just I was just shocked that, you know, this is the type of style that this monster decided that he was actually gonna go with. So I'm gonna talk to you guys about a story time of how I almost got sexually assaulted, or rather the R word, which YouTube obviously penalizes us, so I don't want to say it, but yeah, I almost got assaulted by this guy that I had met on Tinder. So on the 24th of February is the day that my divorce got granted in 2022. So during the day, things were fine. Obviously, I got the divorce decree. I was super excited. I'm sure I'm gonna get a picture here. I was looking very beautiful. I was just so happy, guys. Like, I was really just so happy. There was stuff that were happening, and I was like, listen, nothing is going to ruin my day, because this is the best day ever. I'm like, my freedom is here. So I think maybe 2 days before that, there was a guy that I had matched with on Tinder that had been asking to say, hey, can we go out, right? And I was like, I mean, okay. On that day, I was feeling like, obviously I was feeling like celebrating. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll go out with you. And that's all. And honestly, that was the only intention that I had, that I'm going to just go out with this guy. I asked that we actually go to a club that was close to where I stayed, which is not really like, I don't know if you call it a club or like just a place. Obviously, it's a setup where people sit, drink, you know, I would say it's like a club, but yeah. So first of all, this guy is a South African. I'm gonna say that. The guy, he said that he was Rped, right? So this guy, he really drove a nice car. I will say he drove like an Audi A4, I think. I don't know if it exists, but I think it was an A4. The thing, man, this ones that they came in at that time, you know, you get it as orange, or I will try to Google it and I'll put a picture just for reference so that you guys can see. And I'll tell you guys why. Seeing the car that he was driving, I was like, okay, first of all, he's South African. He said that he works at I forgot, man. I forgot, but he did tell me. So I'm like, okay, this is someone that has a job. He ain't a scammer or a criminal that is doing illegal chende, because he's saying that, he has got this job, he's a South African, and he's driving a nice car. So clearly, you have to be working at an okay job. And so for me, I've always been under this impression that if someone is working like a good job, they're not really gonna want to do any criminology, because they have got a lot to lose. It's not like someone that does not have a lot to lose. You understand? Like, it's not like someone maybe that is not working a nice job, they can like try whatever. I don't know. Like, for me, that's just how my psychology was working at that time. So, this guy, obviously, since he had said, no, let's meet, blah, 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 I was like, okay. So at first he was like, let's meet at this other place, man. It's there by Midrand. And I was like, okay, it was in Boulders. And so I went there, but I did not enter. He came down and he was like, oh man, you're so beautiful, blah, 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 blah. And then, he was like, hey, I just want to go by my place and I want to change. I know that was a dumb, stupid move. But at that point, guys, I was on cloud 9. Literally, I was on cloud 9. And I was just so excited that my divorce got finalized. I did not even think about safety for myself. But I was driving my car. He was driving his. And so we went to his place. When we got there, the guy just went, he took a shower, and then after that he changed and we went out. Literally nothing happened. He never even tried to touch me or anything. And I don't know, for some reason I really felt comfortable with him. I was like, okay, you know what, like, he's cool, but when we went out, he was now saying that, hey, you can leave your car here and then we'll use his car to the club, and then after that we'll come back here. And I'm like, why would I be coming back here? Obviously after wherever we go to drink, I'm going home. So I basically said, no, I'm not comfortable with that. I would rather just go with my car. He said, okay, that's fine, sharp. We leave and then we go to the club. And when we got there, guys, it was all fun. I don't even want to lie. It was all fun. The one thing that I can say was very weird for me was that he was trying to push on tequila on me like a lot. I'm not someone that takes hot drinks. Like, I'm your Hunter's Gold type of a girl. I am your mostly that's what I drink, if you know me. And I'm not someone that likes to excessively drink. I don't like getting drunk, especially in the company of someone that I do not even know. I'm usually very, very careful, because I know that people spike drinks. I've once been spiked. That was in 2014. If you guys would like a story time on that, I can do that. You can comment. But for me, I did see that it was kind of a bit weird for me, for the fact that he was trying to push them on me, and then obviously I think I took about 2 or 3 tequilas and then I said no more. If I was going to the bathroom, I'd make sure that I finished my drink, and I will open once I come back. So I never left him like in the position of my drink and it was open and I still would have to actually drink it. So the night went on. Everything was really okay, guys. I don't even want to lie. The guy was cool. Like, there was nothing, absolutely nothing that actually screamed to this guy's a psychopath or anything like that. Absolutely nothing. So, okay, we leave the club, and then after that, like, that was like late now, maybe around past 1 a.m. I was literally like 2 minutes from where I stay, and I was like, okay, I'm going. He was like, oh, can we just sit in the car a bit? I was like, okay. So we went to his car. We sat at the back. So when we got into his car, guys, like, you can judge me all you want. He initiated kissing, and I did kiss the guy. It was all fun vibes, man, and stuff like that. But then I was wearing like a white short dress. Which again, as I'm saying, guys, like, the excitement of the divorce being granted is the one that literally just made my senses go out, because I usually, if I'm going on club or whatever with a guy that I do not know, I wear tights, because tights make it a bit difficult for someone to pull them down because they're tight. But that day, I don't know what was wrong with me. I literally just wore the white dress, and it wasn't as long, even though it wasn't too short. So this guy now starts to try and obviously touch what's under the skirt, which obviously I did push his hands. He tried again. I pushed his hands, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just leave. All this maybe probably happened in less than 2 minutes. The guy was like an animal. I don't even want to lie. He then went on to bite me. I I know it may sound funny, but trust and believe it was not. Like, it was a real actual bite right here on my neck. So when he beat me, guys, it was such an excruciating pain. And as he was doing that, I tried to get him off me, but I was not strong enough. So this guy was literally just biting down. At one point, I felt like he was going to puncture my skin, and literally, like, it felt, everything was happening so fast, but in my mind, I started feeling like I was losing consciousness. Like, for a split second, I felt that I had gotten weak. Like, it was almost like blood. I didn't have enough blood that was flowing to my head. So at this point, when I could see that I was now unable to actually push this guy off of me, that was when I started literally like fighting. So because of now I'm fighting, trying to get him off me, and this guy, he's so strong at this point. Like, he literally is still biting down on me. I'm trying to scoop down. Like, this is all happening at like the back seat of his car. And so the car was making a lot of movements, right? Because obviously I'm fighting. Thank goodness the security guards that were there, I think they thought that, people were doing in the car, which obviously is not allowed. Two security guards, like, they come to the car and they start knocking. So at this point, when they start knocking, this guy had already like unbuttoned his pants. He had already, I don't know like what was going on this side, but I know his pants had already been unbuttoned. His belt was already like open, and then when they were now like banging, he had to now let go of me. And then he opened the door. When he opened the door, I remember the security guard said, "What are you guys doing here?" And then I literally am at a point where, first of all, I'm shocked. Like, I'm shocked of what just happened. I'm also in literal shock of my own body, because now I'm just trying to process, like, what on earth just happened. I've never had something like that actually happen to me. So this guy now starts yelling at the security, right? Like, oh, so people can't just see it and blah, blah, blah. And that security guard was like, no, actually, you're not allowed to be doing, and he's like, no, we're not doing that or whatever. So the other security guard that was on this side, I literally opened the door. And as I opened the door, guys, like, I get out, right? When I get out, I'm standing. Literally, I could still feel the pain. And then I actually took my car keys, because obviously when everything was actually happening, I had been holding my bag, but I think at that point, obviously the bag was now like in the car. And so I just asked that security guard, and I was like, can you please take my bag over there, because my neck, literally, I couldn't do this, guys. I couldn't do that. Like, I couldn't do this. So the security guard takes my bag, he gives it to me. I just walk to my car. I didn't even say anything to this guy. I walk to my car, I enter my car, and I drive off. I go home, and when I get home, I just remember I took my shower and I slept. In the morning, when I now said, and I was now looking at everything, I am going to insert a picture here. I think that was the day after. I actually took a picture. You guys could actually see there were bite marks. You can see that there were bite marks over there. And what I actually realized was that, so this guy, it means whatever job profession he told me, it's either he lied or he does have information when it comes to blood flow. So what I really highly suspect, and I can bet my life on this, is that he basically wanted to cut off the supply from obviously to my brain. And if that happens, you temporarily faint. So when you temporarily faint, I believe that's when he takes advantage of you, and maybe whatever time you can actually get back on it, maybe he'll still be on top of you, or he'll be down, or whatever. And so that's exactly what this guy basically wanted to do. And I honestly was just, first of all, I was really hurt. I was really hurt. I did blame myself for the fact that, like, I know that guys on Tinder are dangerous. Like, most of them are dangerous, especially these days. Like, what was I thinking? And then I just never ever saw that guy ever again. I never communicated with him ever again. He also never communicated with me ever again after that whole situation. It was really honestly just something that was so weird, and something that was really just so painful for me. Guys, I don't even know how to say this, but for someone to can be able to know such knowledge, and the way at which that he actually did it, it really did show me that I don't think this was the first time that this guy actually has done this. I do believe that he has done it before. I don't think that he has stopped. I think he's continuing to do it. Because how else would you know, unless if you know or you are in the medical field, that the blockage of the blood supply to the brain can actually temporarily have somebody faint. And I felt it because I was literally getting weak. It's just, guys, I fight. I fight like for my life. I do fight. And had it been that the security guards did not come, I don't think this guy would have let go up until I had actually fainted or passed out. I don't think that he would have actually stopped. And the fact that obviously I was fighting, the car was moving, that actually also helped me. I think that for me to can be able to move the car like that, even though I was still like in struggle, I think my weight also might have played a role, because I feel like if I was slim, he could have been able to maybe like hold me in a way that I couldn't have shaken the car. And that literally really honestly like scared me so much. So I think that if there's anything that I can go ahead and say to you guys is that try your best to not get into strangers' cars, not get into strangers' houses. Just be very careful out there. And guys, Tinder is not the safest place. So please just honestly be safe out there. For me, I honestly think about it even till today, to say like I was so blessed of the fact that this guy did not try that nonsense when I was at his house, because he would have definitely he would have succeeded, because who was gonna come to my aid? Who? And I know maybe some of you guys will ask the question like, why didn't you go to the police since you knew where he stayed? Honestly, for me at that point, I was still just going through a lot. There was also an element of shame for me. I don't even want to lie. There was an element of shame wherein it was like the day you divorced your ex-husband, you almost got sexually assaulted. Like, it was really... it did honestly leave a bitter taste in my mouth. There was also a huge part of me that really just wanted to forget about it. And ever since then, it's something that I just told myself, it was almost like I just told myself it never happened, and I just continued with my life. But as the 24th of February was approaching this year, it honestly was just playing in the back of my mind, and I was like, you always share information just to help. It has nothing to do with a lot, but this is information that someone out there can actually help them. So if you're someone that is out there and you do not know, if someone cuts your blood supply to your brain temporarily, you can actually faint or temporarily faint. So someone can be able to take advantage of you at that moment, and even when you wake up, even if you go to the hospital, you were not drugged, so there's not going to be any drugs that are found in your system. Maybe your BP might be high or low, but then they will never no one can actually prove that you had passed out. So this person that would have done this, they can literally argue that no, we had an agreement, this and that. And you know how South Africa is, guys, so just for you to be safe out there, please make sure that you just don't get into strangers' cars. Like, for me, it was like, okay, we're in the car, like, what's the worst that could happen? I literally did not know. Guys, I was in pain for weeks, not just 1 week, for weeks. About 2 to 3 weeks, I was still in pain. When you guys saw those bite marks, that was literally the following day. They did get worse. I wish I actually documented that, but I know I took a picture, so I will look for the picture. I wish I actually did document that so that you guys could actually literally see, guys. It was so painful. It was swollen. It was actually swollen. It got to swell. I could not turn. For a week I could not like be turning easy, and the second week it started getting better, but I was still in pain. By the third week, that was when I obviously started to feel much better. So yeah, I just really honestly wanted to warn you guys out there to say, really honestly, be careful. Just because maybe someone works a good job, or someone drives a nice car, or someone seems to be someone that they are responsible, it does not mean that they actually are. It really honestly does not mean that they actually are. So you just need to really honestly be safe. There's a lot that is actually happening. I know with us, most of the time we look at like South African guys and we're like, these are my brothers, they can never do this. They actually can, they actually can. And I was really honestly just so shocked when it came to this whole situation. So the only message that I want to share with you guys here is that they can actually do that, guys. Be very careful. If someone comes to your neck and they're trying to either strangle or bite or whatever, and you are not in it, like, try your best, everything that you can actually do a lot of movement or scream if you are able to, just so that you can be able to get help. Because trust and believe, this guy, guys, like, he was like so, I'm still just like, it really honestly still just traumatizes me just thinking about that. It was very unnatural. Like, for me, it was very unnatural. The guy literally was like, at one point I was like, my goodness, this guy a vampire or what? Like, there was just a lot that was going on in my mind. And I just, after when I realized, like, okay, this is definitely what this guy wanted to do, it really just disgusted me, and it really did break my heart. I'm not even going to lie. I am glad and grateful that obviously the security guards came and that never happened to me, because I know it would have been trauma that I don't think I would have healed from. So yeah, ever since then I really have just been super careful. I don't even enter a guy's car at this point, unless if you're someone I know and I'm comfortable with and I've been knowing you for a while. But ciao, Tinder and all these dating sites, a lot of things actually basically happen. But anyway, I do hope that you will have learned something. And maybe if you're someone that has been with a guy and he bites you or something, and next thing you wake up, this guy's on top of you, or this guy has already done this and you don't know what happened, you can temporarily faint if someone blocks the blood supply to your brain. That happens. So yeah, from Owamie, I love you guys. Stay safe, and I will definitely see you guys in my next upload. Bye, ninjas.